we have some huge Chrono Odyssey news. It sounds like the beta is coming, and it's possibly coming sooner than you might think. What we'll do is I'll talk about it and I'll play some footage from Chrono Odyssey trailers and stuff like that. What we actually have though is the Korean financials for Kakao. So once every quarter, I think, they do like this financial report for the shareholders, stakeholders, and they tend to give information because these people have got, you know, financially a lot of money invested into this company. So they want to know what's going on. And they obviously talk about Chrono Odyssey and Archage Chronicles. On the PDF that they have, it does show Archage Chronicles is coming early next year, and it still shows Chrono Odyssey as coming at the end of this year, which aligns with the little teaser leak that we saw on Twitter the other day. Yes, I said Twitter, not X, and you know, I may not apologize for it, but it was more important what they said in the audio call. In the call, they get asked a question about Chrono Odyssey, of course, and first they talk about the focus group test that some content creators were in, some YouTubers were in, and they say that they got some very positive feedback. The dark universe was very well rendered, I think is the word they possibly used, and uncommon for a Korean studio, which to be fair, it kind of is when you look at it. They spoke about how the action combat was good, how the classes were well received. Sounds like they got some positive feedback in that test at least. That then has enabled them to be confident to step up and to move, or not really move, but to start procedure in the closed beta test that is going to be running through Steam. Signups are live right now, by the way. And the important thing is, they basically said that the information for this closed beta test is going to be announced this month in May, which is incredibly exciting because we might actually finally get news about this game that we can actually talk about and look at all the classes and all the gameplay and all this kind of stuff. So we might get information about that closed beta test very, very soon. And then the next question though would be, when would this test be? Well, perhaps even more excitingly, the day that they are suggesting is the first half of 2025. Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but there are 12 months in the year, and May is the 5th month, and June is the 6th. When they were talking about it, and just keep in mind that there could be a translation issue because it's initially in Korean and then there's a lady translating it, it sort of sounded like they were trying to get it ready for June. That was the target, but it sounds like things might be slipping a little bit. That was just my inferring from that. So if it's not June, it might be July. Either way, they're not planning on hanging around here. It sounds like the train has started to move. It has left the station. When will it actually finally be announced for? We don't know. I personally think it's going to be late June or early July. Either way, that is sensational news, let's be honest. It sounds like this is when the Western users, the world, are going to be able to see it. So I'm very strongly expecting no NDA under that test. And that's when the hype for this game will truly begin if that test goes well, like the focus group test went. And actually that timeline kind of works, right? If they have their test, let's just say they have the test in July, it then gives them, you know, 3-4 months to try and polish anything that gets flagged up in that test. Now, if they come across any serious issues, then of course the game could get delayed. But right now, they're confident, and I am truly excited. On a personal level, I was gonna play Dune, make some content for Dune Awakening, but I kind of think maybe I'll back off that and just fully concentrate on Chrono Odyssey. It's the game I'm genuinely way more excited for. If I'm honest, I was just going to play Dune because I was a little bit bored of New World. But you know what? Maybe forget that. I'm a Chrono Odyssey enjoyer, and I'm very much looking forward to this beta. And if for some reason Chrono Odyssey doesn't set the world on fire, there is a little bit of a backup plan there. They did also talk about Archage Chronicles, which was basically Archage 2. They said that when they had that trailer at that Sony showcase, that it was well received and there was a lot of interest. They also said that the game was pretty much finished. The same thing, they also said that for Chrono Odyssey, by the way. Obviously, if the game is nearly ready, then it's nearly finished. But they said that a lot of the core systems in Archage Chronicles were done. The combat was done, you know, all of the kind of like story set pieces and that kind of stuff was done. And they said they were just polishing it right now. And they said they were going to have their own focus group test in, I think they said June, with a global closed beta test in the second half of this year. Now, I kind of feel like that won't happen. At least it might not do, depending on the timelines. They did mention how, you know, they're going to try and synergize these together. I think synergizing these together would basically be keeping them apart. Like they should let Chrono Odyssey have its moment and then try and have an Archage 2, Archage Chronicles moment. Or at least it seems that way to me. Unless the games aren't as similar as we think. They keep getting referred to as these like online action RPGs rather than MMOs in the financials. So we'll see if they're actually like proper MMOs. We'll see if one of them is more MMO than the other one. In fact, we might see that very soon. Overall, this is a big shift. I don't know if you can feel this, but with Chrono Odyssey, they are ramping this up, right? They are getting started. The train analogy, the train has left the station and is speeding up. Information is going to be coming, I mean, soon-ish. And that's also, I guess, when the marketing is going to ramp up. Because I've said this before, right? A lot of people don't really care about Chrono Odyssey at the moment because they've not seen it, they've not played it, they don't really know too much about it. To a lot of people, it's just a fancy-looking couple of trailers and that's it. And that's fair enough. But when people start getting their hands on it, reviews start coming out, the ground swelling of public sentiment comes out, and there's posts on Reddit and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. The marketing will also be kicking in at that time, and we'll start seeing if there's actual real interest in this game. And I think personally that there will be, and I'm hoping that the game is obviously going to match that level of expectation. And it's incredibly exciting that we might find out about it and we might be playing it next month. That's pretty wild to me. I sort of expected it would get delayed and it would be the end of this year. I'm happy with it. Let's see what they give us. Either way, these are some exciting times. If you want to follow the Chrono Odyssey journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Have a most beautiful day. Like as well if you fancy it. And I wish you nothing but the best. Come and talk to me on Twitch about it if you want to. Yeah, goodbye.